Time now for sports on 104.7 The Cave. Here's Ned Reynolds.
Mike the intern, Ned Reynolds, back in the studio. It's Friday, and I know we had a nice, restful weekend. The Chiefs were on a bye week, but it couldn't have gone any better for the Chiefs as far as the other teams vying for a spot in the playoffs down the road. We had the Ravens lose, the Bengals lost, Chargers lost,
Jaguars lost,
Jags lost. Doesn't get any better than that for us.
No, it doesn't. And this is winning by, and it's can't call it default. It's winning by chronology more than anything else. Chiefs get the weekend off, and actually they more or less get 2 weeks off because they don't play again until a week from tonight. So that while they'll go back to the practice field probably tomorrow, maybe Wednesday, they'll be in pretty doggone shape, good shape. But the fact of the matter remains that while they didn't clinch this weekend, they can't do that. There's still a number of games still to play. They come pretty doggone close to getting the top seed in the AFC, and that's really important. They're 7-2, and they own the tiebreaker over the Ravens. Now, the fact of the matter remains that the Chiefs could stub their toe. I don't really think they will. They're entirely too good a team. At Philadelphia, they still have the Las Vegas Raiders to play twice, and they have the Chargers to play. They have the Cincinnati Bengals, Buffalo Bills still to play. So there's always that possibility, but I'll tell you, things look pretty rosy for Kansas City getting that number one choice.
As of right now, but they got the Eagles to face a week from tonight. Monday Night Football is when they're back to action, but couldn't have asked for a better bye week situation and then almost a whole nother weekend of rest before they take on a very, very good Eagles team. But don't discount the Raiders, man. They've won 2 in a row now.
The Raiders are such a puzzling team. They have the talent. They just do not have the mentality. And I blame that on the ownership, the Davis family. Mark Davis is different.
That's a really nice way to put it, if that's what you're going to say.
Doesn't operate the way his dad did, let's put it that way. But the fact is that the Raiders do have the talent. If they get somebody to put that thing together, they could be a formidable ball club, not this year, but in the future.
Trust fund babies, if you're listening right now, just because your dad's great at one thing doesn't mean you are too. And if you have the money to hire people to do that job, you let them do that job, or you're going to end up paying 3 coaches at one time. All right, Texas A&M football wins huge on Saturday. There was a lot of really great games over the weekend.
A&M wins 51-10 over Mississippi State and fires their coach. And what do you think? What do you think about that? Of course, the coach was on the hot seat anyway because Texas A&M really under Jimbo Fisher thought they would be a contender. They aren't a contender. They are bowl eligible. They'll be going to a bowl game, but with only 2 games remaining and a 6-4 record, that's not acceptable to Aggies fans. So out he goes, and the key, Mike, is what the Texas A&M folks owe him on his contract. He signed a 10-year contract 6 years ago, I guess it was. They owe him $77 million. $77 million! Some loser there. Now, key question here is, does Coach Fisher and his staff continue for the final 2 games of the year? They have Abilene Christian coming up. That's their walkover game. And then LSU on Thanksgiving weekend on a Saturday. And that'll be it other than their bowl game. What do they do with the coaching staff, which does include former Bears coach Bobby Petrino? He is down there. Is he out of a job again? Well, we will find all that out probably a little bit later on today.
Nice to come back up here and maybe help us out. And,
help out his son-in-law.
Yeah, maybe come back. Hey, it's actually not a lot nicer on this side of the fence. Obviously, it was a huge, huge game for the Tigers against Tennessee at home. And like I said, pick the Tigers at home on this one big time.
All 3 of the key teams in Missouri on whom we're interested, college teams, did come away with the win. Missouri 36-7 over Tennessee. And how about Cody Schrader? Here's Cody Schrader, folks, who's he's not now, a walk-on with the Missouri team, a transfer from Truman State in Kirksville. And all he did was contribute 311 yards of total offense, both running and catching passes. The guy was all over the place. Tennessee could do nothing with him, and Tennessee could do nothing with the Mizzou defense. Missouri is nothing short of a very good football team. They'll come up in the bowl rankings, which come out tomorrow night. From 14th, I'm going to guess to maybe 11. I don't think they'll crack the top 10, but they're shooting for a pretty good New Year's Day bowl game right now. Missouri State, what on earth? They absolutely dominated Northern Iowa. 35-16. Jordan Pachot with 4 touchdown passes, 326 yards through the air, and the defense just absolutely stymied Northern Iowa. That doesn't happen. The Bears, my goodness sake, it was a very good win. Now the Evangel Valor, they were down in the fourth period 31-10 in their game down at Nixa. They're playing Bethel College, down 31-10. Rallied in the third period to tie the game, force an overtime, and won it in overtime 41-38 to finish the regular season undefeated. Evangel will get this week off. The NAIA playoffs begin this week, but the top 12 teams get a bye, and Evangel's one of the top 12. So they'll have a bye week and then go into the playoffs starting 2 weeks from, which will be, November the 25th, I guess it will be, the second round of the playoffs, and that's where the playoffs will begin. But Evangel will be in that playoff field.
Do we have any Southwest Missouri football teams still in the march for high school state championship glory?
We do indeed, and the number is 10. 10 from Southwest Missouri who got their district championships and now go on to the quarterfinals in 5 of the classes, the semifinals in Class 1. That's because of the numbers of schools involved. But in the immediate Springfield area, and they're the schools we're going to talk about immediately here, not the ones out of our listening area, Nixa will play at Kansas City Rockhurst on Friday night, and that's a quarterfinal game. Fair Grove goes to Columbia on Saturday afternoon to play Father Tolton High. That's a very good football team. That is Saturday afternoon. Also, that's a quarterfinal game. Republic will play at home on Saturday afternoon, and they are meeting Jefferson City Helias, and that's a major challenge. Helias is very good. Also a quarterfinal. The semifinal game involves Class 1 Marionville, and the Marionville Comets are home. They are playing Portageville, and that will be on a Friday night down in Marionville. They're the games in the immediate Springfield area, and we wish them an awful lot of good luck.
Oh, yeah, they made it this far. Let's go. Bring the glory home. We have the Missouri State basketball Bears at home tonight. It looks like Shea Ned will be open to watch the game.
NR will be there, I can promise
sir.
you that. Yeah, this is the home opener, the official home opener. The exhibition game doesn't count. This is the official home opener tonight, and the Bears are playing Oral Roberts. ORU was an NCAA tournament team last year. They made the first round and fell to Duke by double digits. But many of those players are gone from this ORU team, which plays in the Summit League. They have had 2 games so far. They're 1-1 on the year. They lost it to Texas Arlington, but then beat an Oklahoma, Mid-America, I should say, Mid-America Christian. They beat them. Not familiar with that program. But anyway, Oral Roberts is 1-1, and indeed they will be in town to play at the Great Southern Bank Arena, and that game is at 7 o'clock, and that's the Bears and ORU. Should be a pretty good contest.
Don't party too hard. I don't want to deal with the hungover Ned tomorrow.
No, that doesn't happen.
We don't talk about them a whole lot, but you know what? The Missouri State Bears soccer team the last few years have definitely been something. What's the story this year?
They played the title game. They played it up at Kalamazoo, Michigan on Saturday and fell to Western Michigan 2-1. But the Bears are nationally ranked. They're among the top 15 teams in America, and they're a very good soccer team. 2-1, that's just a tough loss to have to swallow, but the Bears did lose to Western Michigan twice, once here at home and in the playoff game on the road. Nonetheless, the NCAA tournament looms, and all the teams in the NCAA find out their fate tonight. It's one of these put together by the NCAA pregame or actually tournament shows in which they announce all the pairings. It's done on closed circuit, and the Bears will find out their opponent tonight. They have a closed circuit watch party over at the college. So, indeed, we'll keep our fingers crossed. I think the Bears get into the tournament without any problem at all. But who they play and where they play, that's the key.
Fingers crossed they get a good seed. Ned, you have a great Monday. I'll see you on Tuesday.